was winter, and we were hungry. And when you're hungry, you hunt. That's just what you do when you live out here. You know, there ain't no grocery store to walk to and pick yourself up a pack of hamburgers. This is the sticks, and I've got mouths to feed. I mean, shit. What would you have done? I grew up in the country, born to a small family, just my mother, my father, my older brother, and myself. We were taught from a very young age that it was a gift to be able to live off of the land. Simple life, sure, but it was one that I knew I wanted to continue. So when I was old enough, I met a nice woman, settled down, and eventually had 2 kids of our own. My pride and joy. It was, up to that point anyway, the perfect life. Bliss. But then that winter rolled around. A brutal winter if there ever was one. The cold ate right through the cabin walls, and the chill got into our bones. It was the year that my eldest son got the flu. We spent so much time near his bedside that we started to run low on food. So I went out hunting every day for weeks, but not a sign of life. But I kept trying, and eventually I did see something. I was out checking an old trap line when I heard something in the distance, something that sounded like voices. So I worked my way up over the ridge, and that's when I saw a doe and her fawn. At first I was ecstatic. It was the first meat I'd seen in weeks. So I readied my gun, and then I heard it again. More voices. I used my scope to search around the area, see who was talking, but couldn't see nothing. So I aimed my gun back at the deer, and that's when I saw it. The deer's lips were moving. At first I couldn't believe it. I refused to believe it. But there it was, clear as day. A mama deer showing her baby deer the first grasses of spring, talking all the while. My heart was pumping so fast I thought it would beat right out of my chest. A talking deer, 2 talking deer. But there it was. Next thing I know, I'm falling to my knees in shock, which must have alerted the doe because her ears popped back, and instinctively I grabbed my gun, and I only had a split second to think, and it's not easy being one of the most hated men in America. Even out here, it'll follow you. On that day, I had no idea that Disney was out there shooting a movie, and that those were trained deer. How was I to know that those 6 sons of bitches would keep that in the film? A children's film. And I'm the one to blame for taking the innocence out of so many children? The only thing I thought about that day was my family. So I'll ask you again. What would you have done?